Miracle versus magic. Christians and religious people should be very slow to call everything evil, demonic, or witchcraft. First and foremost, let's talk about numbers. Numbers and astrology are all in and throughout the Bible. And if they weren't of significant spiritual importance, then they wouldn't be in there. So let's talk about some of the different events and activities that happen in the Bible that are biblical, that depending on how you look at things and your perspective, you may say is a miracle or is magic or is witchcraft. It just depends on if it's coming from the Bible, which would be considered religious and spiritual, or if it's just a regular person that's not considered a Christian and doesn't follow the Bible, then you would say that person is performing witchcraft. One event would be Jacob and his spotted goats. Now, some may say he used hoodoo or switcheroo to get what he wanted, but hey. Then you have potions that caused abortions. If a woman was thought to have been having an affair or been in infidelity, she was given a potion to abort her fetus if she had been unfaithful. But if she was faithful, then she would not lose the fetus. Then you have the touching of the garment. I have a video about touch and how important and spiritual just touch is. But just touching something and having a virtue or healing or spirit leave that particular object and transfer over into another could be deemed magic. And then you have Moses and the staff turning into a snake, not once but twice. Now, in one instance, he was in competition, basically, with the magicians of the Pharaoh to see who had more power, them or the God of Moses. And the second time, or another time, that Moses' staff turned into a snake was when a poisonous snake was wrapped around a pole, and whomever looked at the snake would be healed. Now, on another note, you have Greek philosophy and Greek mythology, where one of the gods is the god of healing, and that's where the caduceus comes from, with the snake wrapped around the pole. So that's another topic, but those are just instances where you have the use of a snake, which could be deemed evil or whatever you want to term that. Then you have Yeshua turning water into wine. Talking animals. First with the donkey talking, and then in the very, very beginning, you have the snake talking to Eve. Whether or not you take that figuratively or literally is just up to you, but you have an animal in that instance, depending on how you read it, talking to a human being. Another instance would be Yeshua walking on water. And then you have Peter walking on water. You have Yeshua appearing and disappearing, which could be considered magic or miracle or witchcraft. It just depends on whatever term you want to put on it and whomever is talking, once again. Then you have Yeshua rising from the dead. You have Yeshua raising the dead. So all of this back from the dead could be considered voodoo, hoodoo, witchcraft. And like in everything in life, it just depends on your intentions, your motives, what's going to be the outcome, why you're doing it, your intentions. And then you have Saul having Samuel conjured up from the dead. All right, using a witch or a soothsayer, whom was deemed evil at that time as well, using her to bring Samuel back from the dead. And then you have Joshua walking around a city one time every day for 6 days and then 7 times on the seventh day. So some people can say that, oh, why are you using all those numbers? And yeah, but people still do that in the Christian church. They'll tell you to run around the church 5 times and do this and do that and do it this many times. But then again, on the other hand, they want to talk about hoodoo and the different things people do with numbers and astrology and things of that nature when it comes to dealing with the signs of the weather and what nature is doing and what the stars are doing. So it just depends on perspective once again. So in essence, what I'm saying is Most High forbid a black person make a potion for healing, then it's considered black magic, hoodoo, or witchcraft. So if you look at it from this perspective, if the characters in the Bible were black, then it would be safe to assume that the Bible would be a book of witchcraft, because the Bible characters are not viewed as black, then the biblical events are not considered evil. But if the Bible characters are considered black, then you may as well go ahead and say that everybody would say that the Bible is a book of witchcraft and hoodoo and voodoo, because anytime it comes to us, it's something evil, it's demonic, it's forbidden. But as long as the characters in the Bible are viewed as something else, then it's righteous, it's biblical, it's holy. And y'all catch the drift that I'm trying to make here. So the 3 points that I'd like to make is the perspective of when something is deemed evil or holy, magic or miracle, witchcraft or healing. One would depend on who is actually doing the labeling. Is it people who don't understand, or is it people who are trying to discredit the power that another people has by saying something is evil or demonic? My second point would be you have to look and see if things are being done in the context of religion or not. If it's being done under the guise of religion, let's say, for example, when Yeshua put the clay and his spit mixed together on the guy's eye to heal him, as long as it's used under the context and guise of religion, then it was a spiritual act. But if it wasn't done under the guise of religion, let's say it was a person that's not a Christian or doesn't believe in the Bible or whatnot, and they would perform this same act, then it would be considered witchcraft or hoodoo healing or something like that. And my third point is, once again, who's doing the performance of the event, of the act? Is the person black or not? And you may say that I'm going far-fetched with this, but if we do something, it's going to be labeled a certain way, versus if other people do something, then it's labeled another way. We can do the same exact thing and it's going to be labeled 2 different ways. And I can say this because before some of us were brought here, some of us were already here, yes, doing it our own way. But what I'm trying to say is they already considered us heathens, uncivilized, demonic. Everything that we did was demonic. It didn't matter if it was spiritual or holy, or if we had our own gods or understanding of God in the way that we did things. It's just the fact that whatever we did was considered unholy, unrighteous, and uncivilized. So in essence, in your learning, ask always for understanding, wisdom, and knowledge. Take your time, learn it in its entirety, and get the whole context of what it is you're taking in. Don't take anyone's word for it. Read it for yourself. Get a true understanding, an understanding of the history, an understanding of the time something is being said in. All right? Don't just take it for granted and take it word for word, because Yeshua spoke in parables all the time. And he did that because he did not want everyone to understand what he was saying. He wanted only the people he was speaking to, and he intended for the message to go to actually get it and to understand what he was saying. So everything that you read in the Bible or any other spiritual books, and when you're doing your spiritual walk, you have to ask for discernment, and even if it's literal or figurative. All right. So again, everything is not evil. I cannot say that enough. And I'm going to say this again. When it comes to us, you have to think about the history. You have to think about how the other people think about us. They did not think we were civilized. They did not think we were a righteous, holy people. And they still don't. They even didn't think we had a soul. So how could we be righteous and biblical and godly? They did not have this view of us. So if that's the case, then that means that every single thing we do and did, everything would be contrary. Everything would be evil. Everything would be demonic. Everything would be witchcraft. And that's just not the case. You all be blessed. I want to thank you all for listening, and I hope that you got something from this video.